We believe that what took place in Australia has nothing to do with the rest of the world. I think Australia is separate in a lot of different respects. It was the last continent to be stolen back. America was the second last, and they left us alone. You've got to remember, the Egyptians were in Australia for 4,200 years. The Phoenicians were here. The Spanish were here. All different beings have been here at different times and have stayed for a while and left and been asked to leave on each occasion. When the British came, they were asked to leave too, but they wouldn't go. Every other group did. We know the Egyptians were here until 400 years ago, and I have an elder who told me when they left, why they were thrown out and why they were told not to come back. So what happens before then, I don't know. But in Australia, that was their story out there. Ours is different. Yes, there were earlier civilizations here. Yes, a lot of it was blown up and exploded. That's definite. But the mechanics of that was a long time ago. And in Australia, we weren't part of the rest of the world until they came to us in the 1800s. Basically, before that, we weren't part of anything. So what they were doing out there wasn't our story. So yeah, I get what you're saying, and I've got a friend of ours we work with a lot for a long time. His name is Shane Curl, and I can tell you that everything you've said, he said it, hasn't he?
Yes.
I'm fully behind all the stuff you're talking about. And look, I don't, for the flat Earth thing, I don't really gel with that. But what I've learned to do is, unless I know something is true, everything's possible. And the very few things I know about are the fact that I've got original skulls with original artifacts, and they're ancient. And they tell me that at some stage in this place, they adopted everything that we have today and walked away from it. I know they did that, and I know why they did that. And then the rest of the world, they did what they did. And we deliberately made sure nobody came here. People say, oh, we didn't travel out. We traveled out to everywhere. But no one was allowed to come in. I mean, the Egyptians came for a while and then they were banned. They were the only group that had a period of tenure here.
Are we allowed to ask why they were banned?
I was told by Wallengarry, who's a famous regional culture man. Wallengarry told me what happened. See, they started, there's a story up in Carryong where they first came, and that was 4,600 years ago when Khufu was in control and two of his sons came in. And they had a concord on agreement where they could come to Australia and be tutored in the spiritual and mystical and magical realms. We didn't do the other stuff. We walked away from it. And that was fine. They were allowed to stay. They were welcomed. They could do their lifestyle and do their farming if they wanted. We didn't interfere with that. But 400 years ago, a group of Egyptians came to Australia, and they stopped. Their boat stopped at Balmoral Beach in Sydney. I was told that by the elder. And if you go to Sydney from Egypt, you go inland. That's where you go. And they went into the middle. I can't say where, but when they went into the middle, they stole 4 of the sacred rocks I've been talking about that we had. Now, I don't know if you understand how much original people regard these rocks, mate. That's just like breaking into the Sistine Chapel and stealing the artifacts. So the warriors tracked them all the way back to Sydney, followed them all the way there. And when they got to the beach, they speared and killed all of them. And they told the Egyptians in the boat, you've broken the Concord, you've broken the Makarrata, you've broken the treaty. You are no longer welcome. You can never come back to this country. And soon after, the British came and we told them to leave and they wouldn't.